What are you doing today to make sure that you are improving on a daily basis? What does it even look like? I'll tell you a story of a choice that I made that changed the rest of my life. Making yourself better is a daily journey. 16 years ago, I was working for somebody else. I was working for what I like to call corporate therapy. And if you're a therapist and you've ever worked in corporate therapy is basically you work and see the clients, and then they pay you like a fifth of what they actually get for the billables. It's really awful. I was making like $13 an hour with a master's degree. It was really kind of disgusting. So I realized I had to make a change in my life. I had to do something different. But what was that thing? I had to expand my private practice. See, my private practice was part-time. I was only doing about 10 to 20 hours a week elsewhere. So I was working 40 hours a week for a main job, and I was working 10 to 20 hours a week in my private practice. It wasn't getting anywhere. I was like paying the bills, keeping the lights on in the place. It wasn't that great. And so I finally decided I'd had enough. Okay, I had had enough. My wife was working a full-time job, making more than me that I was doing, working 60 hours a week. It was kind of crazy. So it took me 6 months, but I started making a choice. I said, you know what? I'm going to take all the spare time that I have. I'm going to take every second that I have. I'm going to work on improving my private practice. So I started promoting the heck out of my website. I started blogging twice a day. I started doing everything I could to make my private practice better. And you know what? It took me 6 months, all right, to get to a place where my private practice was finally improving. It was finally at a place where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, maybe I can make this transition over. I went from like 15 clients a week to 20 to 25. I was pushing 30. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm working like almost 70 hours a week now. So I went to my wife. I said, hey, you know what? I think I can make this transition. I think I can actually go and do something differently. She said, all right, go for it. This was in 2008. Does anybody remember 2008? 2008, there was a nasty crash, okay? A nasty stock market crash. And it wiped out a lot of people. A lot of people lost their jobs. So when the world was coming to an end and things were chaotic and people were losing their jobs left and right, I decided, you know what? I'm in a good enough place. I'm going to go ahead and quit my job. I'm going to do private practice full time. It changed the course of the rest of my life. Now, unfortunately, my wife lost her job at the beginning of 2009 as a result of this crash. And so we're like, oh no, what are we going to do? She decided she was going to work with me and build the practice. Okay, now I had the clients, but I didn't have the structure in place. And that was another part. I had to work on myself to make sure that what I was doing was improving. I had to make sure that I wasn't just going to sit there and be like, you know what, you don't know what you're talking about because you're, and there was a time when I did do that. Don't get me wrong. There were times when I kind of butted heads with my wife because I thought I knew better, but she was amazing at structuring and scheduling. So I had to change myself within myself to recognize that her ability to schedule and structure things was way better than mine. I had to humble myself a little bit to do that. So all of these big changes were happening simultaneously. All right. So I want to encourage you today and challenge you. What are you doing to improve yourself? What are you doing to make yourself better? Are you satisfied with where you are in your marriage? Are you satisfied with your life? Are you just kind of going through the motions and making sure that everything's all set, the lights are on? Is that your goal? Is that how you want to live your life? Or do you want something better? If you want something better, you can go ahead and book a free call with me. The link is in the comments. And you can go ahead and set that time up. I won't bite. Just, shoot a comment. Schedule a time to talk to me. I think I've got some time on Wednesdays. I've got a little bit of time left to schedule a call and come talk to me about this stuff. I can help get you on the right track. I can help you come up with the idea because ultimately, as men, what's the story? The idea has to be ours. We have to come up with the idea. All right, cool. I'll just chat with you. You come up with the idea and you can go from there. Does that sound good? Anyways, I thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful for you. I love telling these kinds of stories because it's my life has been pretty amazing and it has been challenging too. And I don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, it's been rock star awesome. No, it's had some real challenges. Like it wasn't easy doing all of that. Like even that transition over, like things were still rough. We had to kind of take our cars off the road and stuff like that. One of these days I'll tell the full story about that. But it was really challenging. But I had to change myself in order to get there. I couldn't just sit back and be like, oh, okay, well, everything's going to be cool. I'm just going to coast on through. Because if I hadn't, I wouldn't even be where I am right now. All of the choices that I have made from that time to now have been a result of making that decision. I had to change myself to make that decision. Tomorrow, we're going to go into the concept of training yourself to get into that habit, to making those habits, those solid habits of self-improvement, so that you are in a place where you can start making the changes that you want to make to be the man that you want to be. I'm Jim Valeri. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.